And the solidarity China has shown since historical liberation struggle is manifested through educational exchanges, which I've also explained, trade expansion, the ambassador and everyone else has spoken to, the Belt and Road Initiative, the diplomatic cooperation framework, such as the Forum on China. Yet, this book is not an uncritical praise of China. Rather, it is a rigorous account into Xi Jinping's vision for the Global South. For me, gaining a profound understanding of this vision alongside China's foreign policy and its modernization, rooted in rich civilization, is indispensable for engaging with China in an informed and an unbiased manner. Such understanding enriches South-South cooperation, as well as the civilizational and intellectual exchanges that are shaping the future of global governance. While this book illuminates China and Xi Jinping's vision, it is the first among many other relevant global South subjects and actors who equally need to be explored and analyzed to sustain South-South cooperation. We're working on Global South, and we're looking at Global South leaders. We're looking at India, Russia, including our own country, in Nigeria, Egypt. We also are mindful of the global changes that are taking place and ensuring that we tell our story from different angles. We all have a duty to play, not just a matter of politicians. As teachers, as students, I think we need to work extremely hard. Distinct from Africa's traditional focus on representation, a question that we always ask, when we talk about transformation of the international system, I think we need to go far beyond the question of representation, just to be in the room, photo shoots. I think we need to think deeper, to go beyond being there. I think the lessons that I've personally learned from China, when they talk about their own transformation, their involvement at a global level, they're looking at transformation from much more comprehensive, that even the language of United Nations, they want to put their own words. And therefore, I think when we talk about the reforms of UN, we need to think about our own civilization, and with an understanding that there's no civilization that is more important or more superior than others. Our civilization is important, has contributed immensely to the world, and therefore when we demand for a space, we also need to be taken quite seriously. Currently, the book comprehensively covers topics including the history of China's role in the Global South, Xi Jinping thought and its implications, the Global Civilization Initiative, China's role in peace and security, efforts to build high-quality China-Africa relation, global governance reforms, the Dar es Salaam Consensus, and Chinese development initiatives. It also explores China educational exchange in Africa as bridges for mutual learning and examines China-Africa partnership in value addition, critical for pushing Africa's higher on the global value chain. As we move forward, it is paramount to recognize that building just world is achievable only through inclusive dialogue and partnership, where all voices are respected equally. This book challenges us to embrace such a vision and to commit to collective efforts of global South countries in shaping a better shared future. In closing, as I look at my wife, I invite you to engage with this book openly and critically. Its insights are crucial for understanding and shaping the future of the Global South. As the African proverb reminds us, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I warmly welcome your thoughtful critique, confident that such constructive dialogue will enrich our collective journey. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
President, thank you. You are back. This message is for you. We look forward to more success in the future, to continued collaboration, to really shaking Africa and the Global South together as these two great, mighty institutions that always leave no stone unturned. The Confucius Institute at the University of Johannesburg is also celebrating its 10-year milestone. To mark this special achievement, on the 17th of November, we will have a great celebratory event where the ambassador undoubtedly will be there, and I hope many of you will be there. And the Center for Africa-China Studies, which was established in 2018, has rapidly become a hub of intellectual endeavors on Africa-China relations and global South studies, which is why this book. And I'm relating here the great work that we are doing at the great University of Johannesburg through these structures and through our professors, especially Professor Monyae, who is leading us in this regard. In addition to intellectual undertakings, the Center has created inroads through which the University of Johannesburg has established close relations with China and its institution. In March this year, under the visionary leadership of the UJ Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor George Mpedi, we went to China, and I was honored to be part of this. Prof. Monyae was honored to be part of this. We had executive deans and executive and senior directors. And in addition to the legendary hospitality that we were offered by Chinese colleagues, we also got an opportunity to visit several institutions, both academic and otherwise. If you haven't been to China, you haven't been to the world. I remember standing in front of a door that all of a sudden just opened wide in front of me, and then the next thing I saw was this huge screen, demonstrating innovations that I've never seen before. And as I was standing there, another door opened where that screen is, and then it became a door, and then there was another screen, and I was like, wow. And it went on and on like that. You actually don't have to be told about technology. You live technology, you feel technology, you will realize that there's great thinking here, there's intentionality. And really, if South Africa wants to claim its place in the world, China, again, is a force to be reckoned with. Done by China, and we all can see and feel it, and we appreciate that. China has been South Africa's biggest trading partner in the last 15 years. President Xi Jinping has visited South Africa 4 times, the most of any African country. At a university level, we have the Confucius Institute, which is 10 years old, and the Center for Africa-China Studies that has been working alongside the Confucius Institute, where Professor Monyae serves as the director. Yes, thank you. These structures have been instrumental in building bridges linking the University of Johannesburg with China and Chinese institutions. In this vein, may I state some of the great milestones that our university celebrates this year. In 2025, UJ celebrates 20 years of academic excellence, research excellence, global footprint and partnership, and Professor Nqolunga will agree with me that we have the greatest celebration ever last week, the Platinum Gala Dinner, where we paused to look at where we have come and how, as an institution, we have driven a transformation. I must indicate that China is very blessed to collaborate with an institution of our caliber, because we are also a force to be reckoned with. So it is the great China and the great University of Johannesburg coming together. We rely on UN organizations such as the United Nations, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund. It has been one of history's inordinate paradoxes that Africa, where most of global conflicts are concentrated, Africa does not have permanent representation at the United Nations Security Council. It is important that the book has highlighted these misnomers. In my opinion, this book is a call to action. It's a call out of our slumber to really do something to transform our society and our country. As global leaders have begun descending to South Africa for G20 summit, they would be very well served by this book, while also working towards the much needed reforms. They'll find this book as a valuable resource to consider as we forge ahead. For this reason, Professor Monyae, I offer hearty congratulations. I'm an epidemiologist. I know that in trying to extend the book, I might have mixed words. You are a professor of international relations and you speak and write with that authority. But in all frankness, I wish to appreciate you for the great work that you have done representing the great University of Johannesburg as the #1 producer of research outputs in South Africa, leading all institutions. You name them, we are a leader. We are #1, the #1 university.
Send senior leaders of China to present in Johannesburg. And we also work with South Africa together. And among majority of the members of G20, for the equality, sustainability, and justice. This reform of the global governance is the main theme of this year's G20. Also, some people don't agree, but from the very beginning, that is the consensus reached by G20 members, and South Africa play a leading role. We must respect it. That is the rule of how to operate G20. And we look forward to this summit sending out a strong voice of Global South's voice on global governance. Today, we are gathered with friends from South Africans, policy, academic, and media communities to discuss a major question. What is the Global South headed? And how can China and the Global South move forward together? Of course, I'm an ambassador of China, so that is why I say China and the Global South, all right? Please understand me, okay? This is a timely topic. It also has far-reaching significance. Here, I would like to share my 3 thoughts drawing on Professor Monyae's new book. First, the rise of the Global South is the trend of our time and the direction of development. In his book, Professor Monyae points out that the Global South is not just a simple geographic term. It is a political identity and a collective consciousness formed after countries with a shared history and colonialism and setbacks in development went through common struggle. It represents historical actors who strive for a fairer international order for themselves. Actually, we talk about order, but if I put a very normal phrase, is treat us equally. This breaks away from labels such as underdeveloped countries or Eastern and West division, which carry a sense of hierarchy. Instead, it highlights dignity, rights, and equality. I fully agree with Professor's view. Today has remained Africa's largest trading partner for 16 consecutive years. In 2024, China-Africa trade volume reached nearly $300 billion, a record high. Chinese companies keep increasing their investment in Africa, promoting cooperation on industrial and supply chains and making real contribution to local tax revenue, jobs creation, and industrialization. Since the beginning of this year, some countries have launched trade wars and tariff wars, right? This has seriously harmed the legitimate interests of many countries and undermined the modernization process of the global South. China has announced, our President Xi Jinping announced it in June this year, that China will apply zero tariff treatment onto 100% of taxable tariff lines for products from 53 African countries that have diplomatic relations with China. This is a major step for China to further open up and expand cooperation. We want to import more products from South Africa, not only just agriculture, mining, but also value-added manufactured products. Thank you. We are ready to work with Africa to make good use of this zero tariff arrangement to increase Africa exports to China, to meet the diverse needs of Chinese consumers, and to truly help African countries grow their economies and advance Africa modernization. Third, China-South Africa cooperation is leading the way in strengthening global South solidarity and cooperation. Professor Monyae has long focused on China studies. He has carried out systematic research and in-depth thinking on China's development path and on Xi Jinping's thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristic for a new era. In the chapter, China, South Africa, and the Global South in the involving global order in his book, he reviews the history of China-South Africa relation, and through this lens, observes the growth of Global South strengths. I believe this is a very meaningful perspective. In recent years, China and South Africa has worked together to promote the historical expansion of BRICS and to support the African Union in joining the G20. Just yesterday, African Union issued a very strong statement to support presidency of South Africa. China fully agrees with African Union's statement as well. We have taken real actions to practice true multilateralism and to safeguard the common interests of developing countries and international fairness and justice.